I welcome you for the first part of our new lesson of history. The name of the lesson is What Books and Burial Tells Us. So, this will be the new lesson, and if you look at the title of the lesson, What Books and Burial Tells Us. So, in this lesson, what we are going to learn is we are going to discuss about few old books that can be called as a source of history. Along with that, we are going to also discuss about the burials. The burials, you must be knowing that burials are the places where the persons are buried after the death. So in this lesson, what we'll be discussing about few books which were written in the past and still they are used, and still we have we have trust on these books. Along with this, we'll be studying burials also. So the first part that we'll be discussing is there are 4 Vedas in our Hindu religion, and these are highly respected by the Hindu people, or even Hindu people also, and almost Indians. So these are the 4 Vedas. So if you look, the first one is Rig Veda, then Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, and Atharva Veda. These are the 4 Vedas that were written, or they were composed in the past. And among these, in our lesson, there is more focus on the first one, that is Rig Veda. So each this holy book or religious book is having a subject area. They have discussed few things about Indian culture, Indian civilization, and some customs are mentioned here. Okay, and these are still highly appreciated by the Indians. So the first one that we are talking about is Rig Veda. So Rig Veda is the one book, and it is a holy book. And if you look at the meaning of the title of the book, Rig Veda, the book title, so the meaning of that word is wisdom of verses. This is the meaning, we can say. If you look at Rig Veda, consists of 10,552 verses, or we can say the poems. Verses they are written in the form of poems, poetry. They are written in the form of poetry. So this is a collection that is divided into 10 books, and it has hymns. Hymns, what are the hymns? Hymns are the poem, we can say a poem written to praise the God, to pray the God. So it is, we can say, a type of bhajan. Okay, so hymns and mantras. So for many religious purposes, we have mantras. We recite the mantras for different festivals and puja of the gods. So it has so many we can say verses, what we can call them as hymns and mantras, and these were used by the holy priests. These people, those who are doing the religious activities, rituals, they recite these verses. The hymns of Rig Veda focus on pleasing the principal god Indra, Agni, and Surya, and Varuna also. So what is there in this book? The lines or the poetry focus on the praise of the gods. These gods are like god Indra. So he is considered the god of war, wind, and rain. It is the belief of the people that if we pray to god Indra, there will be good type of war, we can say rain, then wind, and even he is considered the god of war. Agni, the sacrificial fire, Surya the sun, Varun, so what we call as air god. So these are the different gods. In these gods are praised. Their praise is given in this book. Okay. Then the next point that we'll be discussing is, if you look at these books which were discussed earlier side, these are mostly written in most of the holy books, religious books, and in past the most of the books were written in the language that is Sanskrit. And Sanskrit is considered the mother of many languages, not only from India but also from the different part of the world. The languages are born from this main language that is Sanskrit. So Sanskrit is the mother language for many other languages. Okay, so this Sanskrit language belongs to a family known as Indo-European, and some Indian languages such as Assamese, Gujarati, Hindi, Kashmiri and Sindhi. These are the Indian languages. Along with this, many European languages such as English, French, German, Greek, Italian, Spanish belong to the group that is Sanskrit family. They are called a family because they originally had words in common. So there are many words that are common, or they are somewhat changed, and new word is made. For example, we have example here, the word actual Hindi, that Sanskrit word matra. Matra is the actual Sanskrit word. So from Sanskrit, Hindi word is created. If you look at the both words, Hindi word and Sanskrit word, you will find a common factor, matra and ma. And from these two words, or that original Sanskrit word, English word is also base, and the word is mother. So the meaning of the word is mother. Of course, the three words have the same meaning, and so it is influenced. The mother, this English word is influenced by the Sanskrit word matra. So this is one example. Same way, there are number of words which are taken from the Sanskrit language in other language, including English also. So do you know any similarity? So you can find out such similarity where the same word is taken, or it has some similarities. So other languages is used in the subcontinent belong to different families. For example, those languages which are spoken in the part of northeast of India, they belong to a Tibeto-Burman family. Tibeto-Burman family. For example, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam. These languages belong to Dravidian family, and the languages which are in northeast, that belong to a Tibeto-Burman family. Okay, and the languages spoken in Jharkhand and the part of central India, they belong to Austroasiatic family. So the languages has its origin, or they have some similarities and differences on the basis of their origin, from which languages they are created. The next point, how historians study about Rig Veda. Historians like archaeologists find out about the past, but in addition material remains. They examine written sources as well. So how we are able to tell about the Rig Veda? So the Rig Veda or the Vedas, these were mostly transferred from generation to generation orally. It means a person who knows these hymns or these lines, they used to teach to his disciple or students, and from that those students again it was passed to the next generation. This way, most of the lines or the words, the shlokas that are transferred from generation to generation. Along with this, the archaeologists and historians have found certain evidences or some samples of these books which are studied carefully and we are able to tell about that time. Some of the hymns in Rig Veda are in the dialogue form. They were written in the form of dialogue. One person is talking, the other person is giving response. Like we have dialogue writing in your language subjects. The same way in this Rig Veda also there are certain hymns which are written in the dialogue form. So who is talking in this dialogue? So one person, what we call as Rishi, sage Vishwamitra, is talking with the two rivers, and these two rivers are Bias and Satluj, and these are considered the goddess. So they are written in the form of different dialogues. So one person is talking, other person is giving response. The same way, most of the things are passed from the generation to generation, and the verses are also passed from generation to generation, and these are recited by the people. The next thing that is mentioned in these Vedas is cattle, horses and chariots. So cattle, it include animals like cow, buffalo, then ox. These animals are included. Then horses and chariots. Chariots, what we call as a rath. There are many prayers in Rig Veda for cattle, children and horses. In Rig Veda we have the prayers for the sake of cattle. In our culture we also give importance to animal also. For them we have festivals, we consider them as a god and goddesses, like cow and horses. Horses were yoked to chariot, they were attached to chariots, and that were used in battles. Horses were used in battles, and which were fought to capture cattle. Even that time people used to fight for the sake of cattle. Means once suppose a person is attacking on the other and they are having attack for the sake of cattle. Then the battles were also fought for the purpose of land, acquiring the lands of other people, and which was used for the pasture. Pasture is what? Pasture is the area where the cattle get food. Okay, grass area or open spaces where the grass grows and animal can be feed, or they getting food or grass and growing. Even they captured the lands for the purpose of crops. And for example, even some crops were taken like barley. Even battles were fought for the sake of water and to capture people. Some of the wealth that was obtained was kept by leader, some was given to priest, and the rest was distributed among the people. So I suppose a ruler or if any leader is attacking on other person or other ruler, so what he used to do, he used to keep some money with him, or whatever he has taken from the other enemy, and some part he used to keep for himself, some part he used to give to priests, because that time people believe more strongly in the priest. So they used to give some share to the priest, and the rest page was rest share, or it was distributed among the people who help in the war, like we can say soldiers. Some wealth was used for the performance of yajnas and sacrifices. Yajnas, you know, these yajnas is a ritual that is done in Hinduism, and these were even donated. These money and sacrifices were done. Some money was donated or some food was donated. So there are different ways to donate things. These were meant for god and goddesses. Offerings could include what? Offerings could, the god were offered these things like ghee was offered, the grain was offered. In some cases the animals were also given sacrifice, animal sacrifice. Then most men took part in these wars. Most of the men used to take part in these wars, and there was no regular army, but there were assemblies where people meet and discuss matter of war and also of peace. They also choose their leaders who were often brave and skillful warriors. So there was no such army. Nowadays we have army, but there was no organized army in that time. People were coming together, they were discussing about wars they were discussing about peace, and they used to choose their leader, and the leader was one of the powerful person, and he was intelligent and skillful person. So the leader was chosen. So after this we'll be watching a video on the same information that I shared with you.
What books and burials tell us? One of the oldest books in the world. There are 4 Vedas: Rig Veda, Samveda, Yajurveda and Atharvaveda, with Rig Veda being the oldest and composed about 3,500 years ago. The Rig Veda comprises of more than 1,000 hymns, which are called Sukta, meaning well said. These hymns are written in praise of various gods and goddesses, with Agni, the god of fire, Indra, a warrior god, and Soma, a plant from which a special drink was prepared, being the important ones. These hymns were composed by sages and taught by priests to students with great care. Men composed, learnt, and taught most of the hymns, but a few were composed by women as well. The Rig Veda is written in Old Vedic Sanskrit and other languages. Indo-European is a name given to a family of languages, of which Sanskrit is a part. Languages like Assamese, Gujarati, Hindi, Kashmiri, and many European languages like English, French, German, Greek, Italian, and Spanish belong to this family. They have words in common and are hence called a family. For example, the word Matra in Sanskrit, Ma in Hindi, and Mother in English seem to be similar. Some other languages spoken in the subcontinent belong to different families. For example, languages spoken in the northeast belong to Tibeto-Burman family. Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, and Malayalam belong to the Dravidian family. Languages spoken in Jharkhand and central India belong to the Austro-Asiatic family. How historians study Rig Veda. Historians, like archaeologists, study the past by examining written sources in addition to material remains. The Rig Veda is one such written source that the historians examine. Here is an example of a dialogue found in Rig Veda between a sage named Vishwamitra and 2 rivers, Beas and Satluj, that were worshipped as goddesses. Vishwamitra: O rivers, come down from the mountains like 2 swift horses, like 2 shining cows that lick their calves. You move like chariots to the sea through the power of Indra. You are full of water and wish to unite with one another. The rivers: we, who are full of water, move along the path the gods have made for us. Once we start flowing, we cannot be stopped. Why do you pray to us, O sage? Vishwamitra: O sisters, please listen to me. The singer who has come from a distance with his chariots and carts, let your waters not rise above our axles, so that we can cross safely. The rivers: we will listen to your prayers so that you can cross safely. Historians deduced that this hymn was composed in the area where these rivers flow, and that the sage lived in a society where horses and cows were valued animals, as the rivers were compared to them. Rivers like Indus, Saraswati, Ganga, and Yamuna are also named in other hymns. Cattle, horses, and chariots. The Rig Veda has many prayers for cattle, children, and horses. Battles were fought for cattle, land, and water. Wealth that was obtained was distributed among people and used for performance of yajnas or sacrifices. Sacrifices were performed by offering ghee, grain, and animals which were meant for gods and goddesses into the fire. People met and discussed matters of war in assemblies. Words to describe people. People are described in the terms of work they do, the language they speak, the place they belong to, and their cultural practices. The priests, who were also called Brahmins, performed various rituals, while Rajas is a name given to another group of people. Jana and Vish are two words used to describe the people or a community as a whole. The Aryas were people who composed hymns, and Dasas and Dasis was a name given to slaves.
Okay, this was all about the part 1, and coming parts will be discussing more subtopic of the lesson. Till the time, you take care. Thank you.